In a class action, one person or a small group of people can bring a claim on behalf of a larger group of people who have suffered the same type of harm. So in a class action, the representative plaintiff brings the claim on behalf of every single person who has suffered the same loss. And the results of that class action benefit and bind every member of the class. Class actions are an incredibly flexible tool, so just about any type of claim where there is a large group of people who have suffered the same type of loss can be dealt with in a class action. If you think that you've suffered a loss or an injury or a harm that is the same as a whole bunch of people, that may be appropriate for a class action. So the first thing you should do is reach out to a lawyer who has experience in class actions and say, here's what happened to me. Is this the type of claim that is appropriate for a class action? The first class action that I ever filed was in 1995. It was the first time that the federal government had ever been sued for loss of language and culture. We filed a claim on behalf of survivors of a residential school in Nova Scotia. And after we filed that claim, other survivors from other schools across the country filed similar claims. And over time, we began to work together until that claim was eventually settled, and it was the largest class action settlement in Canadian history. My experience in that case made me realize what a powerful tool class actions can be to achieve justice for injured people. So we've dedicated our practice to bringing forward class actions on behalf of people who have no other option, no other way to obtain justice for the harm that they've suffered. The initial case evaluation for class actions is very different than the typical personal injury claim, because we're not just trying to find out what happened to you and what your harms and losses are, but we need to determine whether there's a pattern, a class, a larger group of people that have suffered the same harm and loss that would make this type of situation appropriate to bring as a class action. In class actions, it's important to maintain continuity. These types of cases are so complex, they're so time-consuming, that we think it's important that one lawyer be in charge of the case from start to finish. So when we take on a class action, although we have a team of lawyers working on the case, there's just one partner in charge of the file that follows the case through from start to finish.